Adrian Newey has won more Formula One Constructors' Championships than any designer alive. When he turned that uncompromising philosophy toward a road-legal hypercar, Aston Martin got a machine revving to 11,100 revolutions per minute, with 1,800 kilograms of downforce. They also got a development program so punishing it broke timelines, broke teams, and nearly broke the man behind it. What the Valkyrie demanded in return for its brilliance is where this story begins. March 2016 brought an unlikely alliance. Aston Martin, a brand rooted in grand touring tradition, joined forces with Red Bull Racing, Formula One's most aggressive innovators. The project was announced under the codename AMRB001, a name that sounded more like a prototype than a finished product. From the outset, this was no ordinary supercar launch. Aston Martin staked its reputation on creating a halo car that would channel the uncompromising spirit of Formula One engineering into something you could, at least in theory, drive on public roads. Red Bull Racing's involvement signaled that every convention of road car design was up for challenge. The official promise was direct, the purest expression of Formula One thinking, with aerodynamic performance and technical ambition set above comfort and practicality. Aston Martin's leadership made it clear they were willing to endure extraordinary engineering pain for the chance to redefine what their badge could mean. The target was set, a car that would not just compete with rivals, but rewrite the rules of what a road-legal hypercar could be. Adrian Newey's name carries the weight of modern Formula One itself. Over a career spanning more than 3 decades, his designs have claimed 14 drivers and 12 Constructors' World Championships, first with Williams, then McLaren, and most recently Red Bull. No other designer in the sport's history has shaped so many winning cars. Yet until the Valkyrie, Newey had never put his signature on a full road car. That alone set expectations at a level few projects ever encounter. Newey's approach stands apart. In Formula One, he is known for treating the entire car as a single, inseparable system, chassis, aerodynamics, and powertrain all working together. Every surface and component serving the pursuit of speed. He rejects the idea of designing a body, then fitting in the rest. Instead, he starts with the physics, how air moves, how weight is distributed, how the structure can be made lighter and stronger at once. This package-first mindset shaped every element of the Valkyrie, from the shape of its carbon monocoque to the way the engine is used as a structural member. For Newey, compromise is the enemy. His involvement meant the Valkyrie would not be a branding exercise or a simple adaptation of racing technology. It would be a test of whether the relentless logic of Grand Prix engineering could survive the realities of public roads. The result was a car defined less by luxury or tradition than by the raw pursuit of performance, and a development process that pushed every partner to their limits. Cosworth's involvement brought Newey's vision to life in a way few thought possible for a road car. The Valkyrie's engine was not adapted from a previous design or borrowed from the Aston Martin parts bin. Instead, Cosworth engineered a 6.5-liter naturally aspirated V12 from scratch, with every component shaped by the demands of extreme revs and minimal weight. The result is a power plant that stands alone, 1,000 horsepower at 10,500 revolutions per minute, with a redline that climbs to a staggering 11,100 revolutions per minute. This engine weighs just 206 kilograms, lighter than many V8 engines, yet acts as a fully stressed member of the chassis, helping to keep the car's structure rigid and its center of gravity low. Rather than chase hybrid dominance, the Valkyrie's electric system is designed to support, not overshadow, the combustion core. A KERS-style hybrid adds 160 horsepower, bringing total output to 1,160 horsepower, but the V12 remains the emotional and mechanical heart of the car. Cosworth's solution is not just about numbers, it is about character. The engine's scream at full tilt, the instant response, and the purity of its mechanical connection all reflect Newey's refusal to compromise. In a world rushing towards silent electrification, the Valkyrie's powertrain stands as a declaration. The internal combustion engine, when pushed to its limits, can still deliver something unmatched by any other technology. 11,100 revolutions per minute. That number sits at the heart of the Valkyrie's identity, setting it apart from the rest of the hypercar world. Mainstream rivals like the Ferrari 296 GTB and McLaren Artura both top out at 8,500 revolutions per minute. Impressive, but not in the same stratosphere. Only Gordon Murray's T50 dares to go higher among production-ready, naturally aspirated V12s, peaking at 12,100 revolutions per minute. For the Valkyrie, the rev ceiling isn't just a technical specification, it's a statement of intent, a refusal to accept the limits of road car convention. The Cosworth V12 doesn't want to loaf along. It comes alive at the top of the rev range, demanding to be pushed, almost daring the driver to keep up. This isn't the kind of engine that blends into traffic or hums quietly in the background. At 11,100 revolutions per minute, the Valkyrie transforms from a powerful machine into something that feels more like a sanctioned experiment, a rolling test of how far F1 thinking can be stretched outside the paddock. The result is a car that isn't merely fast, it's fundamentally unreasonable, and that's exactly the point. Aerodynamics is not an afterthought on the Valkyrie. It is the car's defining principle. The entire structure exists to serve the flow of air, and nowhere is this more apparent than in the active ground effect floor. Unlike conventional supercars that rely on wings or aggressive bodywork for downforce, the Valkyrie's grip is born beneath the surface. A complex network of venturi tunnels and movable diffusers, governed by hydraulic actuators, sculpts the air rushing under the car. This system adapts in real time, altering its angle and shape to maximize efficiency or grip, depending on speed and cornering force. The result is staggering. At maximum velocity, the Valkyrie generates approximately 1,800 kilograms of downforce, enough to nearly match its own weight. That figure is not a marketing flourish, but a direct measurement, rivaling what Formula One cars achieve on track. The car's visible silhouette, with its narrow cockpit and dramatic cutaways, is a consequence of this underbody obsession. Every vent, every curve, every millimeter of clearance is dictated by the need to channel air as efficiently as possible. In this machine, the floor is the protagonist. The visible bodywork becomes almost secondary, existing to feed the underbody and keep the airflow attached. This approach turns the Valkyrie into something fundamentally different from its rivals, a road car that behaves, in aerodynamic terms, like a purebred race machine. The pursuit of aerodynamic purity here is absolute, and it is the reason the Valkyrie looks, feels, and performs unlike anything else with a license plate. The original promise was simple on paper: deliver the first Valkyries to customers in 2019. Reality proved far more stubborn. As the prototypes entered crash testing, the same design choices that made the car extraordinary, its low, sharp nose and radical underfloor, kept failing to meet pedestrian impact and rollover regulations. Each failed test meant another round of redesigns, more weight added, and more of the car's core shape under threat. The schedule slipped, first quietly, then publicly, as the 2019 target gave way to late 2022. Heat management became another battleground. The Cosworth V12, packed tight against the carbon monocoque, generated temperatures that overwhelmed early cooling systems. Heat soak after hard running threatened not just performance, but the survival of electronics and interior components. Engineers revised ducting, reworked insulation, and even experimented with new composite layups. But every solution risked upsetting the car's delicate balance between weight, stiffness, and packaging. Production itself became a test of patience. The carbon monocoque, designed for maximum rigidity and minimum mass, pushed suppliers to their limits. Delays cascaded as bespoke titanium components and ultra-high-spec bearings, parts that existed nowhere else, proved nearly impossible to source at the required tolerances. With each setback, pressure inside the team mounted. Reports surfaced of senior engineers working relentless hours, and by 2021, several key staff had left the project, worn down by the relentless pace and uncompromising standards. The Valkyrie was growing sharper with every hard lesson, but the cost was measured in both time and people. The AMR Pro stands apart as the Valkyrie concept with the shackles thrown off. Here, every road-legal compromise, emissions hardware, noise restrictions, even headlights falls away. The result is a machine that channels Adrian Newey's vision without filters or concessions. The AMR Pro's bodywork grows wilder, its downforce climbs, and the interior is stripped to the essentials. Freed from the need to satisfy regulators, the car's aerodynamics and powertrain are unleashed to levels the standard Valkyrie could only hint at. This is not a separate project. It is the original idea, amplified. The AMR Pro exists to prove that at its core, the Valkyrie was always more race car than road car, a Formula One philosophy finally allowed to breathe. The Valkyrie now stands as a rare artifact from the twilight of the internal combustion era. As the automotive world accelerates toward electrification and hybrid supremacy, this car reads less like a glimpse of the future and more like a final benchmark of what a naturally aspirated V12 can achieve when given absolute engineering priority. Its existence is inseparable from the climate in which it was built. A handful of road-going examples, each shaped by a pursuit of technical purity that left little room for compromise. Adrian Newey's approach, pushing Formula One logic as far as regulations and materials would allow, transformed the Valkyrie into a historical marker. Aston Martin's investment in this experiment produced a machine that will be remembered not just for its numbers, but for the seriousness with which it answered the question, how far can you go if you refuse to back down? In a world shifting toward hybrid quiet and digital control, the Valkyrie stands defiant, proof that refusing compromise can create both brilliance and turmoil. As car makers chase efficiency, this machine reminds us, true innovation demands a cost. The pursuit of purity still shapes every boundary we dare to cross. Share your thoughts below.